So welcome, everyone. Today's date is Thursday, July 31st. We made it through another month. Thank the Lord for that. How did your month go? My month was, full of ups and downs like anything else, but very grateful that we made it through another month, right? We are at the final stages of the 7th month of 2025. I don't know about you, but this year has gone by so fast, right? Like with anything else, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But, even if you are still at the beginning stages of your business or even in the middle or whatever have you, you still have August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. You still got 5 months to either start what you want to start, turn around your business, things of that nature. So today's topic is going to be what we call at Eric B. Horn headquarters. It's called the Profit Leaks Locator. Okay. So if you are a business owner and you come to us and you are not a super novice when it comes to having procedures in your business, you may have some stuff written down on a sheet of paper, but you don't have anything official, right, that you can use consistently. This is one of the strategies that we take our clients through to identify some of the leaks when it comes to profit, when it comes to time, when it comes to resources. If you are not optimizing your business at the highest level, there are some leaks that you would probably want to look at, right? And that's what I want to talk about today. My team and I, we kind of went back and forth. This is something that we really wanted to talk about because this is something near and dear to us within our organization. But yes, if you are looking at this live stream and you are interested in, identifying the places in your business that's leaking and you want to stop them, this is the best live stream for you, right? So in a perfect world, every small business wants to earn more money but work less, right? You want to earn $500,000 a year, but you only work a month during that year because you have your processes and your procedures in place. You have certain systems and things are running at an optimal level. However, a lot of times when people look at their bottom line and their goals and what they want to accomplish, AKA the amount of money that they want to bring in for the year, in some instances, it's not about working harder, right? It's about working not smarter, but working smarter with some of the systems that you have in place. And even more importantly, identifying where the leaks are and do whatever you need to do to patch those up. Think of it like a car tire leak. A car tire leak is relatively slow, right? You may have 35 pounds of, based off the type of car or vehicle you have, you may have 35 pounds in one tire on Monday, and then on Wednesday it goes to 30, and then by Friday it goes to 25, right? You may not notice it instantly, but throughout the course of the week, you'll notice that, it's a lot, you're burning a lot more gas, you're not moving as fast based off of the overall leaks. And a lot of business owners do not look at the potential leaks in their business. They think, okay, we're not making amount of money instantly from a reactive standpoint. And this was me also. I looked at it from the standpoint is I need to figure out, throw more offers out there, or I need to work more or secure more business. But in some instances, you could secure a ton of business, work at an optimal level, but you're still not surpassing that plateau when it comes to your income. So I definitely employ you guys, regardless of what your business is, whether it's a bakery, whether it's a nursery, regardless of what it is. Even though you're looking at the upside and trying to figure out how you can make money, you also want to look at it from the perspective of based off of what you do every single day. Where are the leaks where you're wasting time, effort, energy, resources, and money, because I guarantee you, regardless of the type of business that you have, you can always look at your business and see if there are any type of leaks. I did this with my business. I've done this with hundreds of other businesses. So at the end of the day, they thought they needed to work harder, but they needed to have better systems in place to strictly identify where are the leaks, right? So what I'm going to do is take you through a 4-step framework that we do when we need to identify the leaks that a business is happening. Okay. So the first part of the framework is spot the leaks, right? Number 2 is measure the impact of the leaks. Number 3 is obviously fix the flow, because you want to make sure that where the leaks are, you want to patch them up. And then last but not least, reclaim the revenue. Once again, you want to spot the leaks, measure the impact, fix the flow, and last but not least, reclaim the revenue. I always have a hard time saying that. I be like, reclaim the revenue, but it's reclaim the revenue. Okay. So quick story based off of how this framework came to be. So one of my clients, she is brilliant at what she does. She has a service-based business. She has a PhD. She's very smart. But when it got to the point where her business started to pick up, right? And you would initially think as you pick up more business, you're going to make more money, right? That's like 1 + 1 is 2. However, in her situation, as her business began to pick up, it seems like she wasn't making any more money, right? And when you are a solopreneur, which she was, you're so wrapped up in the day-to-day that you really don't remove yourself and take a step back from your business and figure out what's going on, because you're doing any and everything in your power to secure clients and to, fulfill the jobs that you are acquiring, right? No harm, no foul. So what we did was we took her through this process that I'm going to explain to you today. And then after doing a deep dive, what we found out was very, very shocking, right? Even when I initially went in and started with this process, I thought it was going to be a different outcome. But even to my surprise, as you pop up the hood and really dig deep into your business to figure out where the leaks are, I was even shocked to what we found. Just at a high level, some of the things that we found was she already had workflows in place, but she had duplicate workflows. So instead of the workflows going from A to B, they were veering off, which can be very confusing, because if it's not a consistent A, B, C, D type procedure or type implementation, you really don't know where things are veering off. Also, since a lot of her tasks were manual, right? When things are manual, especially when it comes to technology and using tools that can eliminate those manual processes, when you do things manually, it falls through the cracks. It gets forgotten about. We're all human, right? We're not robots. We're not perfect. So with everything going on, balls were dropped, tasks were dropped that wasted a lot of time and a lot of resources, right? And last but not least, which was super surprising to me, but I was guilty of this also, right? A lot of the software that she bought that was recommended by another business coach, she never used. So she was paying for this stuff day in and day out, but she never used it. And the crazy thing about it, the software that she was paying, I forgot how much she was paying, but the software that she was paying could have helped with some of the manual things that she needed to do, right? And once again, there's no judgment. But when you are in the day-to-day and in the grind of the business and trying to fulfill orders, this is the type of stuff that you don't look at from a, high level understanding. That's why I was so grateful when she called us in to help her with this. And even as I go into more detail about the framework, let me let you know what the overall results of us coming in and helping her. So after a couple of months of us helping her, 3 major things. We cut her expenses by 22%, right? Which is a huge number based off of the fact that she was spending thousands upon thousands of dollars every month in her business. And once again, the money that she was saving based off of cutting her expenses by 22%, these are things that will show up in your bottom line, right? Number 2, it freed up 10 hours a week for her. As she removed herself from the manual pieces within her process and started to put animation, started to put automation. This is what happened when you're live. When you start to put automation into play, it gave her a lot of her time back. And a lot of the time that she got back, in actuality, it helped her with her relationship, because those 10 hours that it saved her, she was able to spend more time with her significant other, as opposed to, which I used to be a victim of this. I thought it was a rites of passage, grinding for 24 hours all day, every day when it comes to your business, knowing that people were beating me based off of the fact of they started to fast track some of the stuff that they were doing because they started to automate it, right? So it helped freed her 10 hours a week that she could do whatever she wanted to do in this type of situation. She was able to spend more time with her significant other. And then last but not least, it increased her monthly profit without adding a single client, well, a single new client. Let me be specific. Once again, based off of her cutting her expenses by 22% and her freeing up her time by 10 hours, ultimately it would increase her profit margin, because she's not burning candles at the both, she's not burning the candle on both ends, trying to get more money just to keep herself afloat. And once again, these three high-level accomplishments within her business was all based off of the fact of specifically identifying profit leaks in her business. So now that you have an understanding of what the profit leaks locator framework is, how it benefited one of my clients, and the 4 strategies, let's go a little bit deeper into the 4 strategies at a high level. So the first thing I talked about was spotting the leaks. Spotting the leaks we helped identify and document, which is the key thing, not just identifying this stuff, but specifically documenting her existing processes from beginning to end. Or at least the most important thing, or the most important process that helps her generate money. And as a side note, there's a lot of processes and procedures that you can have in your business. But if you specifically do not have a step-by-step procedure on the main thing or things that help you generate a profit in your business, you're crazy and you're losing money. But based off of that identifying and documenting, we uncovered specific bottlenecks. Once again, having I said this before, having duplicate steps in her existing process that she really didn't look at because she was just so go. And more importantly, look at things that were duplicated. Duplication. I have a hard time saying that. Only thing that does is just adds more unnecessary time on you getting to your goal, aka completing whatever task you need to complete to help you generate money, which also duplication hides delays in your daily workflow. If you do not have a specific daily workflow to say from beginning to end, this is what my day is going to look like, especially when it comes to the task, the product, or the service that you are going to produce to make money, you're going to be lost in the sauce, right? So based off of that, spotting the leaks, spotting the inefficiencies, spotting the inequalities in your process is very key, because how are you going to know what problems you have in your process if you don't flip over the hood, open up the hood and dig in deep into it, right? So after we identify what the leaks are, we measure the impact of those leaks. You have to make sure that you quantify if you have a duplicate step in your process, or if you're not using the specific tools in your business that you are already paying for, you have to associate a cost with it, right? Any business owner that is looking at this live stream, or if you are looking at the replay, please put replay in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Regardless of the fact, if you do not associate a specific dollar amount based off of the leak, you really may not be moved to fix it, right? And cost is one of the biggest impacts that people have in their business, right? Because your business is all about the money that comes into your business and the money that goes out so you can have a profit at the end of the day, right? So whatever that cost may be, right? It can be $500, it can be $1,000, it can be $25,000. You really don't know, but to really be motivated to fix what that leak is not just important to identify, but you also want to tag a cost to it, right? So then after we measured what the impact was for her, we moved to the next step and we ultimately fixed the flow. We looked at where the leaks are, and then we figured out what can be put in place, whether it's some type of tools, some type of checklist, any type of resources that can be used to um, cover the gap or fill in or plug in the leak, so you're not spending as much time, effort, energy, and resources on your business, right? Specifically for her, once again, based off of the tools that she was using, we used tools and put together a couple of automations where the information that was coming in, regardless if it was 8 in the morning or 8 p.m., it was reviewed and summarized and ended up in her email. So she has a very good understanding of what her next steps would be, right? Another tool that we use, it helped her actually quantify if the person or the particular lead that came into her business was something that she was willing to work with, because that was another thing. She dealt with a lot of tire kickers. And if you don't want to know what a tire kicker is, these are individuals that try to suck up as much time and effort from you as they can without fully committing and bringing you on board for whatever product or service that you have, right? But putting a system in place helped vet out the specific people that she would want to work with. And let me go a little bit deeper into this, and this is an extra tip for you. If you are a service-based business, because I do this with my business and I've helped hundreds of businesses do this one critical thing. If you don't, you need to have one. If you take in leads for your business, hopefully you're taking in these leads via a form. Now the form, I don't want to get you guys lost in the sauce. It could be a Google form. It could be a Jot form. It could be any type of online form. The type of online form doesn't matter. But as you are collecting specific pieces of information, the two critical pieces of information that you need to have in your form to kind of vet out if these individuals or these potential leads are a good fit for you. One, when are they looking to get started with the project, right? And you need to have predefined answers. So if you have the question, when are you looking to get started with this particular project? The first selection you should have is immediately. The second option is next month. And the third option is next quarter. Knowing when they are ready to move forward will help position you on when you really need to not readjust, but if you really need to move forward with them. Because if they're not looking for somebody until next quarter, not saying that you need to ignore them, but maybe this is something that you really don't need to address right then and there. Or maybe it's something that it is, and you have some sort of long form follow-up process in your business. But here and now in the form, and make it a required field in the form, make sure that you have, are they looking to get started immediately? Are they looking to get started within the next month? Or are they looking to get started in the next quarter? And then the last question, I know this is live, so my daughter's upstairs watching TV. And as always, we're going to keep this stuff in the live. One day I'm going to bring her on here, so she'll be sitting right next to me. But the next question that you need to have is, how much are you budgeted for this project? And sometimes people may feel some type of way of asking how much money a person has for the project, but you need to know we are in business to serve, of course, but then we're also in business to make a profit. You don't want to go through a process where you are talking to someone and you're spending your precious time and they think that they're going to get this service for free. It may sound crazy. You may think in your mind as a business owner, they may not think that, but trust me, if you do not have some type of question on there that specifically makes them answer it in a way where they specifically give out the amount of the budget, even if they say they don't know, that's something that you may want to walk into cautiously, because do you really want to do business with someone who may not even know how much it costs for your services? That was one question when I was complaining about leaks in my business. That's what, excuse me, that's what one of my mentors asked me. Do you really want to waste that time thinking that they're going to pay and not actually clarifying that? You're not going to offend your lead, because you're still going to do it in a professional manner, but you need to know what their budget looks like. And if the budget falls up under what you will accept, maybe you can provide them with other resources. Hopefully you have some free resources in your business that you can provide for them, so the transaction of what's going on can be a lot quicker, right? No harm, no foul. If somebody does not have the budget that you will take for serving them, because you still want to be respectful, but at the same time, we are all in business to make money, right? So these are some of the things that we put in my client to actually help fix the flow. We automated, developed, got rid of certain tools that she wasn't using. That's how we freed up those expenses. And then also doubled down on using the essential tools that she needed that would help her get the results that she wanted, right? And then last but not least, once you have spot the leaks, right? Next thing, if you measured the overall impact, stating these leaks are costing me X amount of money in my business, then you actually go into the process of fixing the flow or patching it up. The last thing you want to do, which we call reclaim the revenue. And that's one, tracking the results of the new processes, the new automations, the new overall solutions that we put in place. And then over the course of time, you want to monitor. You want to monitor. You want to monitor. You want to monitor the savings and monitor the gross that you have in your business, right? Because you freed up a lot of time. Hopefully you freed up some additional resources, like the additional expenses that you were spending, to ultimately generate more money in your business, right? So once again, I just gave you guys the 50,000 overview of what our profit leaks locator process is, right? However, if you are a business and you are wanting to do a deep dive in your business and you want us to help you with the profit leaks locator, what I want you to do is call 312-725-3279. Once again, that number is 312-725-3279. And either myself or one of my assistants will help get a better understanding of what you're looking for. And if we are a good fit, we can move forward with working with you to help patch up the leaky profits that is in your business. As always, my name is Eric B. Horn, and thank you guys for your time, your effort, and your energy to learn more about this profit leaks indicator. As always, see you on the next live.